gentlemen.
What's cracking?
What's up? Welcome back. We are here today.
It's kind of gloomy outside. Not feeling it. We like sunny Florida. We don't like cloudy Florida, but at least it's not raining
or snowing.
Yeah, someone sent me a video from North Carolina up in Charlotte, and they were on their way to work, and it was like freezing rain and snow.
Well,
sorry guys.
I guess I can't complain about my overcast, and it's still what 70 something degrees.
Yeah, I
mean
now. It's not cold. It's just gloomy out.
Just gloomy. I can tolerate gloomy.
But we're always sunshine in this room.
Yeah.
In Lab Cabin, Florida, it's always sunny.
Always. I mean.
Well, let's get into it.
This is it. Are you ready?
Let's go.
What episode is this?
This is episode 11.
11. I'm not doing the hand
thing. We said we weren't doing it.
I'm not doing it. He did it. I'm not
11.
doing it. All right, so here we go. Episode 11.
Episode 11. This is Damon.
This is Mike.
And this is a damn good show.
Damn.
All right. Well, we got that out of the way.
Got that out of the way. All right, so here we go. We're going to start with a recap today.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned to you guys and also mentioned to Damon, I have a family reunion coming up next month.
Those are not fun to
next
coordinate.
month, and so
I've only helped coordinate one, and I was only half into it. So what you got going? So what's the latest?
I'm coordinating it with other family members who are spread out across the country, and it has in itself been the most amazing, frustrating, challenging obstacle that one can ever undertake.
That sounds like
yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. From securing the venue to challenges with the hotel, and surprisingly, family members that aren't part of the committee aren't responding or just verifying that they're attending.
So you don't even know who's coming or how many people are coming?
Well, we have a number right now, which is for I guess a family union, we're about 65.
That's pretty good size.
It's a decent size. It's not huge. It's not small either. But at the same time, there are a lot of outstanding individuals that could pop up. So,
and he means outstanding in the most outstanding way. But it's going to be one of those things that we're going to have to put a lockdown because we're having a banquet that's going to have food and other activities. Well,
and we're going to give out wristbands, and it's like, oh, you don't have a wristband. You need to go over to the registration table, please.
We need to collect those funds.
We need to get those funds.
And you missed the discount from 2 weeks ago. Now you got to pay full price.
Well, actually, there was a discount back at the end of February, and so we're in the beginning of April.
Oh yeah, you missed that.
So that's gone. But all in all,
I'm sure it'll end up.
It's next month. We got a venue, and we're happy about that. And so I'm looking forward to seeing all of you here in Orlando, Florida. That's my recap for right now.
Yeah, recap. Well, we didn't. This weekend was pretty full for us, as usual. We went to the Melbourne Arab Show, and we got to see. So I used to work on the F-35 program, the Joint Strike Fighter, 10 years ago, almost 11 years ago now. And I used to go out to Fort Worth where they built them and saw some test flights, but I haven't seen it since. So they had the first F-35 demo team demonstration on Saturday, and it was really cool.
Yeah. I saw some of your pictures. My family and I were supposed to join him, but we had other obligations and we could not make it. So, but
darn it, Zion.
Yeah, but your photos were awesome.
Yeah, actually, I was just pulling some off the camera that Jalen took. He took like 850 something.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so now there's gonna be some good ones.
So did he even see the show while he was taking?
Yeah,
photos?
dude, he was. So my son is like the avionics guy. He loves aviation. He loves airplanes. He could tell you exactly which ones. There was someone standing. The funny story. He was standing up at the front with my wife at the fence line where the flight line was. I was sitting back with my daughter, not too far, probably 40 yards back. It was too far back, but anyway, she was up there, and they had a couple. They do these heritage flights where they have like an older plane with the newer ones. Well, the first heritage flight they did was with an F-18s. I think it was with the A1s. He's gonna kill me if I got that wrong, but to my point, there was some person up there talking while they were getting ready to take off and fly, and some guy was like, "Oh, look, they got F-14s," and he goes, "What?" to my wife. Her. He's like, "Those are F-18s." He did it in the most polite manner, but
I mean,
he knows every
the
single.
most And I give Jalen all the credit because the boy is intelligent and knowledgeable, but I'm a novice aviation, fan. The F-14 and the F-18 are just so distinguishably different.
Yeah,
I mean
I think so.
That's an easy oversight.
And they don't even. That's
my nerd moment right now.
But they don't fly F-14s anymore.
They don't.
Well, unless someone has one privately.
Yeah.
But most of them are in the graveyard out in Tucson. So yeah, they stopped flying those a while ago, several years ago. Anyway, that's what we did this weekend. We also met up with some friends from Germany that we used to know, and they were here vacationing for a weekend. So that was fun.
And I left that out. I actually met with some friends from up north in New Jersey, and they came down. Florida Relays was this past weekend, and it was, from what I heard, I didn't get a chance to go, but it was epic as far as the performances and the times that were run, and so
cool. Well, I got fat eating schnitzel at the Hofbrauhaus in St. Petersburg.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey.
I'm getting there. Actually, I've been losing weight. Anyway, all right. That's it for recaps.
So now we're going to get into the main topic.
The main topic is.
All right. So I'm not going to actually tell you. I'm going to start with a
story. All right, here we go. Story time.
I'm going to start with a story. So, my story is I went into a store. And I'm not sure what our legal obligations are.
Just say it, man. Nobody cares.
All right. So really, what I am,
we're not getting paid for any of this crap anyway.
Yeah, right now. I'm a Sprint customer, and a lot of you that have cell phones will probably be like, "Oh, Sprint." But depending on where you go, I've heard bad stories about Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, just depending on where you are. For the most part, the service for Sprint and me, we have had a decent relationship. We've been right here.
Not really symbiotic, but close.
Close. Depending on where I am, it works fine. But it's always been well enough to justify the cost. I mean, the cost and keeping it. The cost was a big focal point, and then the service worked well enough to keep it. But if there was one thing that would ever convince me to leave Sprint, it would be the experience.
The experience inside the store?
I went to, well, I can elaborate in a lot of different areas, but really inside the store, on the phone. I went into a store here in Orlando, Waterford, and my wife and I were having a problem with our phone. Simultaneous problem. So this happened back on Friday. Our phones on Thursday were working perfectly. Friday woke up, neither phone was receiving calls.
Right.
So if you were to call me, it would go straight to voicemail.
What happened?
Call my wife, it goes straight to voicemail. So we couldn't receive any calls. We could make calls, but then even when she made calls, you wouldn't be able to hear her.
Actually, that was the last I remember because we were texting on Friday.
Yeah, and you wouldn't be able to hear her. So essentially, we went into it was like, hey, we're having this problem with our phone, and they run their tests and they say, well, your phones have failed. Okay, well, what does that exactly mean? Well, your phones are having problems that we can't fix. And I said, well, that's interesting. If I came in with one phone and you told me my phone failed and I'm having a problem and it's the phone that is the issue, not the network, I would have to accept that.
But you had both of them.
But I had two phones as I go into the store that are having the same exact issue that started at the same exact time. But I'm being told by a representative that it's your phone. Okay. What do we do with that?
Yeah, right? That's nice to know.
What do we do with that?
I'm a customer. I'm interested to know how to fix it.
What do you do with that?
Yeah.
You need to upgrade, sir.
Yeah,
upgrade to a new phone.
Always upgrade.
Wait a minute.
Just like the iPhone.
So that's what you're telling me. I come in with a unique situation that, arbitrarily would not happen to everyone. And the solution you give me is to upgrade your phone.
Give me more money.
Yeah, give you money. And so I asked for a manager. The manager comes. Supposedly, that's one of the things that always kills me. Is that you never know when you go into a place and you say, "Hey, bring me, let me see your manager."
Yeah. Is
the person that's coming to talk to you truly the manager?
Actually, the manager.
And so this individual, this lady, that comes to say, "Hey, well, this is our technician, and this is what he said, and there's nothing that we can do because you don't have our insurance coverage. You don't have our insurance coverage, we can't do anything.
Yeah.
So what our recommendation would be is to upgrade the phone. And I said, wait a minute. I said, I want you to put yourself in my situation as a manager. I said, I know you're going through your protocol and everything like that. But if you were to come into the store and you got two phones that have failed at the exact same time, and a person was saying, hey, that's your phone, not the network.
Yeah.
And the solution is to spend more money by upgrading to new phones. Would you be okay with that?
Sounds a little fishy.
You know what her response was?
Yes.
What do you think her response was?
She probably said yes.
What do you think your response? What her response was?
Lady, you watching? She probably said yes. I'd be okay with that.
Her response was, yeah, I would just upgrade to a new phone. And at that point in time, I got up and walked away because I was just devastated. I was blown away at that point in time. And so if you have not guessed what our topic is, it is customer service. Customer service, from my experience, has definitely downgraded from years of the past.
Yeah.
I remember, and I don't know if it's still even done, but I remember back in the day when you were up in New Jersey, you could not go and pump your own gas in New Jersey.
No, you still can't.
And
as far
again,
as I know
there's an economical reason to that. Mm-hmm. But to me, that's a sense of customer service, to have someone out come and take care of your car. That's customer service. That stuff has died across the country.
But listen, what's customer service for? That's what people forget. In this new age where everything's automated and that you can do it all yourself. Hell, I mean, they're remodeling Target right now so that they open up more self-service lines. Mm-hmm. And of course, you get in that talk about how's automation killing off workers. Well, they're not killing off workers. Let's be honest. They're just doing other jobs now, more high-tech jobs. But I think people in general just don't know how to communicate. So customer service has gone out the window, and then they script everything. So the first person you talk to can't even help you.
No.
And they're like, oh, well, we'll get someone to call you back. I'm like, every time that happens to me, I literally want to take my phone and just slam it into the table.
Yes.
And the worst part, there's an ongoing, it's kind of well known if you're like a network engineer, you're in IT. There's a lot more of us these days, right? There was, back 20 years ago, there wasn't as many. Mm-hmm. But when you have to call a company as a technical person, but you need their support because of a phone situation or your internet problem at your house, like I can't tell you how many times here, even in Orlando, and I'm going to call your ass out too, Spectrum and Bright House, whatever y'all were before, I call them up, we have an internet outage. Mm-hmm. The internet outage is affecting the entire area. All right? Mm-hmm. I can tell that it's not just our house, but when you call them up, the first thing they say, well, we'll get a technician out there to replace your modem. No, damn it, I don't need a new modem. There is a problem at your central office. And by the way, I can tell because of some of the things I can get to here at the house. They don't understand that at all. And it's so frustrating.
When I was kind of thinking about this topic, it made me think to the movie The Matrix.
The Matrix?
The Matrix.
How?
So there's a scene in the movie where Neo wakes up for the first time.
Yeah.
And he's in this pod, and you see all these things flying around, and they're moving bodies around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the robots are essentially using humans as batteries.
Right.
Okay? And so how that correlates and connects is that corporations nowadays view us as just commodities. If I lose one,
I'll get
get another one. I'll get 3 or 4 more to come. And that's how I think a lot of us are treated when we go into several businesses. There are companies out there that work to do better, to make sure that they're taking care of the customer. But for the most part, I think, society is turning into the Matrix component where it's just about, hey, how much can I get out of you before you realize that I'm just milking you for your money. And then when you leave, I'm just going to get somebody else.
Well, one business they say that actually got hurt really bad because of that? Walmart.
How?
Because when Mr. Walton died, Sam Walton, who started the company, when he died and his family took over, see, when he had the company originally, if you remember when Walmart was first out, their service, they were all about people. They were about their employees. They were about customer service. That's why there's always been a Walmart greeter. A lot of those things were...
Which they're doing away with now,
Which they're... Yeah. So they had all these components, and people... You know, like the trending discussion on Walmart was that it was a really good company. Sam's Club was coming around, but I don't think Sam's Club really started till after he passed away, or right around that time. But anyway, that's how the company was founded. And then over the years, right, you've heard about all the controversies, all the, we're not paying employees, they're paying less than minimum wage and all this other jazz, right? But when his kids took it over, they went by the numbers. It was all about the business. When they did all the, price slashing and cutting, and obviously they always wanted to have low prices. That's the reason why they wanted to put, have a company out there. But a lot of it was turned away from customer service, turned away from the people, and made all about the business.
About generating revenue.
And that's what's actually been Walmart's downfall as far as competing with other companies. Because if you look at the difference between Sam's Club and Costco, Costco outperformed Sam's Club like fourfold because they're all about the customer. They're all about the people. They treat their employees right. They treat the customers right, and that's one of the downsides that people. Maybe you prefer Sam's Club. I don't know. I don't really care. But I mean, if you look at financially the way that they've reacted, it's been a night and day shift. So and that's one of the things that I think is lost, and I think a lot of companies. Capitalism is great.
It is
in the company, in the country rather. But once you let the almighty dollar control your company,
control the bottom line, and again, I started this conversation talking about Sprint, and for me, I've been with Sprint since 2000.
Yeah,
so 19 years.
Time.
It's a long time to be with one company, and I can tell you that I've gone through a river and mountain range and roller coaster ride of different experiences from their customer service component. Again, the service is what it is. It depends on where you are. It's either good or it's bad. It's at least for me, fortunately enough, the service has been well enough to keep me there. But I remember when Claire, I don't know if you've ever been with Sprint.
I was with Sprint back when it was Sprint Spectrum. But actually, before it was Sprint Spectrum, I had them for a long time.
But did you ever have an experience with Claire?
Claire specifically?
Yes.
No, I did not go speak with Claire.
So Claire
Hi,
was
Claire.
Sprint's virtual assistant. That was one of their first attempts at using AI to kind
I never used Claire.
Coordinate and direct you to where you need to be. Yeah. Hi, I'm Claire. It was one of those things. And if that beep, I'm beeping myself. If she wasn't the downfall, I was literally on the verge of screw this company because it was so bad.
So when you called up, that's what you got?
Yeah, you would get Claire.
You don't get a person.
You wouldn't get a person. Claire would handle all of your stuff, and it would take, no lie, it would take almost 10 minutes of trying to navigate through Claire, not understanding you or directing you in the wrong department or whatever to actually get a person.
Yeah.
And
that's still a problem. That's a problem with everybody.
It was the most frustrating
You
thing
can't
ever.
get a person on the phone half the time. When you call some whatever service that you've got, it could be anything. And you get, would you like to do the automate? Would you like a review of your account? No, I called to talk to someone.
Yeah, I want to just...
See, the trick was back in the day with the phone systems, you could just hit a bunch of numbers or even zero. And
couldn't do that with Claire.
You can't do that anymore. No, a lot of companies disable that now that they have their call trees. So there's only certain things you can hit, and if you hit the wrong one, they just start your ass back over again.
Yes, indeed.
Wait a minute. And even if you had, let's say you called before, and they're like, just call us back. Here's your reference number. We'll give you assistance. When you call back, there's no way to put your damn reference number in until you get to somebody, which you can't get to somebody until you go through all the menu system. Oh my God, I get so frustrated.
So even moving beyond cell phones, you got restaurants. It's bad. And so one of the things that we always say about our show is that we want to hit on topics that connect to people. And I'm pretty sure many of you have some stories. And so we want you guys to put those stories down in the comment. Let us know about those so we can kind of elaborate on this topic, because again, we can go on and on. I've stayed in hotels where just customer service from the very beginning when you walk in is not where it should be. It's not warming. It's actually
it's hospitality for a reason. It's supposed to be
hostile. It's hospitality. But when you think about it, you go into restaurants, and I'm gonna give you some positive aspects. When you go into a restaurant called Moe's, I don't think Moe's
welcome
is
to Moe's.
everywhere. You walk in, you get greeted. Welcome to Moe's, and that is an uplifting. You feel kind of good about that when you walk in and you're greeted. You feel good
Chick-fil-A.
when you're going to Chick-fil-A.
Number one
you're
customer
greeted.
Service restaurant.
Yes.
Hands down.
Yes.
And you know what? I would actually not mind if my kids worked there.
Mm-hmm.
So that, because I mean they're all nice anyway, but at least they instill that into their employees.
Mm-hmm.
They have to say, "Oh, it's my pleasure."
My pleasure.
They're trained to do that. So their training program's awesome. You walk in there, you feel welcome, and you know what? Their revenue is through the roof, and they're not even open on Sundays.
And I'm gonna give you one more place: Krispy Kremes.
Oh, Krispy Kreme, especially with the lights on.
I haven't had a Krispy Kreme donut until this past week. It was Saturday.
Oh, did you? Was the light on?
The light was on.
Man.
They were making fresh donuts, and we walked in. We were driving by, and I said, "I want a Krispy Kreme.
I want to be chubby like Damon.
And
I'm gonna go get a Krispy Kreme."
We drove in, and I just wanted a simple glazed donut, just a simple one. I was like, "Hey, you have any fresh ones in there?" But they weren't making those at the moment. They were making the little small wavy ones. They were little mini donuts.
Oh, like the Kruger?
Yeah, Kruger's, because they're like twisty, but they're circle.
Yeah, they're basically, they're just a different dough.
Yeah, so they were making those, but, I had my mouth set on, just a standard glazed donut. So I ordered the glazed donut, and he said, "Hey, I'm going to get you the freshest one that I can get." So they go and get the most recent ones that were baked, and they put them in the box, and so I'm over at the register, and the guy walks up behind me and said, "Here. These just came off." He gave me one of the Kruger ones right off the rack. It was warm. Just because. And not only did he give me one, he gave my wife and son one.
Oh, nice.
No additional charge. Just to say, hey, here you go.
Yeah.
You wanted something warm. You wanted something fresh. And those type of experiences are far and few nowadays. And very unfortunately. There are a lot of places where a customer service component is just dying. It's no longer, putting the customer first. When you're focused just solely on your revenue, when you're focused just solely on your bottom line, your vision and your mission statement for the most part is just rewritten.
Yeah.
And I worked in hospitality. I think I mentioned it earlier I mentioned that I stayed in hospitality, but I've also worked in hospitality. And I implement that in my everyday approach. Just when I'm going, I look for it when I go into businesses, but I also try to instill that in people. And when we do these topics, I do my best. I want to share with you my recommendation on things that you can do to kind of put a fire under some businesses and focus on this thing. So, for the most part, we all know and see on social media, there's always videos that go viral of the negative stuff.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Make sure when you have a positive experience that you share that information, that you go to a manager, that you let them know about those situations. And I'm going to give you two quick ones so, this video doesn't go on too long. There was one in Panda Express, not the greatest Chinese food. Believe me, I know.
It's Chinese food?
It's not the greatest food, but it's quick, it's fast, and it fills your belly. But we used to go enough. We used to go enough where there was a young lady that worked in the store, and when we went in, she knew who we were. She knew what we wanted, and I mean, she would already be starting on. We may mix up the protein components, but she knew that we wanted the fried rice with chow mein, and was already starting. So it was one of those things that was, kind of made sure that I went out of the way to give her props. And then just most recently, REI. I was in an REI store, and their employees work in particular sections because they specialize in certain things. So there was a lady that worked in bicycles, but I was in there looking for a harness. And she walked over and came over to the harness because she saw me kind of circling around. She explained to me the differences between particular brands and how the weight distribution works on the harnesses and all that. And then my wife came over and they had some questions about my son needed a rain suit because he's taking a trip. And so then she walked over there. Wasn't even in her department.
Just made it a personal experience.
Made it a personal experience.
Yeah.
The size that he needed wasn't on the floor. She scanned the check. She said it was in the back. So she went to the back and scoured to find it, to bring the right size out to him. Those are things you don't see anymore. You would go into most stores and it'd be like, yeah, you got to go over to that department and you find somebody over there and then
well,
the
worst part is you don't hear about that stuff anymore. If it is happening, which I'm sure it is, I've run into the same thing. There's been places we've been to and people have been awesome, but you don't hear about it.
You don't?
No. I mean, we'll talk about it. We actually make a point sometimes to find a manager, at least I will, to go tell someone exactly.
And that's what I did at REI. That's what I did at Panda Express. And so I recommend that to you guys. And when you have those positive experiences, make those things go viral. Nowadays everybody's just focused on the clickbait and the things that get you mad, get you upset. How about helping to inspire and get somebody excited about a good experience and then take some time. Let the manager know, let the supervisor know that this person went above and beyond. For me to close, I did end up having a positive experience with Sprint, but I had to go to a different store. This store in Oviedo, Florida, went above and beyond. They were amazing.
See, then it's all about
every aspect.
You might be the same company, so that's the other problem.
Yep.
You put people in a box because of your experience at that particular time. Because there could be, in general, maybe you just caught someone on a bad day.
Yeah.
So I was at the car wash one day. At the car wash, like, they've gotten to the point where they don't really want to touch your stuff in order to vacuum. Like, they, it's hands off. We don't want to be accused of stealing or messing up someone's stuff. So I knew that. So I had golf clubs in the back. And I pulled them out. Like, didn't even ask. I said, hey, I know you guys don't want to mess with this stuff. Can I pull them out? And where would you like me to put them? Because I didn't want to just pull them out and leave them out where they could run them over or whatever, or knock into them or be in their way just from doing their jobs. I was trying to help them out. And this girl started looking at me. She's like, just put them over there. I'm like, okay. But like, I noticed where she pointed to was clearly in the way of where they needed to go back and forth. I'm like, well, I can do that, but it seems like it would be in your way. I'm happy to move them wherever you want. Like, I can do, I don't even know why I was going through this. Is already telling the story taking too long, much less actually being there doing it. And finally, she just huffed at me. She's like, just take them inside. I'm like, all right, look, now you didn't push my button. I'm not taking them inside. I got 2 sets of golf clubs with a bunch of stuff. I'm doing you a favor because I want my vehicle cleaned because that's what I paid for, right? And now you're frustrated with me because I'm helping you out instead of putting them behind the vehicle where it's going to be in your way. Right. Now you're just telling me to take them inside? Now, come on, man.
Just walk through the car wash carrying the bag.
Now, that right there torqued me. And I just said, all right. So I picked them up and I put them somewhere else up near the front. So then I went inside, and there's a manager there that I've known for, I don't know, at least the last 4 or 5 years. Told him what was going on. He's like, man, sometimes some people just have bad days, and I don't know what's going on with her. And I said, look, here's the deal. I'm just trying to be helpful because I want a better job done on my vehicle. I'm helping you guys out. Like, I could have left the stuff in and then complained when you didn't clean it properly, but I didn't do that. He's like, all right, well, let me take care of it. Anyway, to keep it short, he helped me out that day. He went and talked to her later, I guess, and he gave me a discount. And then every time I've been back, he remembered my face. He was like, hey, I just want to, is everything working out all right? Is everything good? Everybody's, at least. So if he wasn't there, and I don't know about the rest of them, I could say, well, that car wash is a crappy place.
Yeah.
Right, but because he went out of his way now, and of course now he recognized me, and maybe it's because I was being a little heated with him. Actually, not to him. We were actually pretty cool. Now he recognizes that. So when I go back, he makes sure that I'm having a good experience, and I appreciate that.
That's good.
But I do let him know that, and I let him know that, and I make sure they see that I put a decent tip in the tip box, and I go up to him and say, hey man, I really appreciate it. The car looks great this time. Thank you guys. And he's like, man, keep coming back. We appreciate it. So
well,
I'm not gonna
let the Waterford Lakes Sprint store off the hook. Every time I go in there, they're bad, and so they need somebody to go and fix that place. But the Oviedo one, awesome experience.
I haven't been in the Sprint one
great.
in Waterford in a couple years, but I have Verizon, and the only reason I was in there is because Breck Shea was there from Orlando City.
Okay.
And I wanted him to sign something. So just to be a DB, I took my Verizon phone out, which was also red. It had a red case on it, and I had Breck Shea
sign it in the Sprint store.
And I made a point to say it was a Verizon phone in front of everybody. They got a kick out of that. But that was the last time I was in there. But I had Sprint for years. I had Sprint when I was in Virginia. When we moved down here, they actually held my number when I went overseas. And they were willing to give it back to me when I got back
that's cool.
After 5 years.
That's cool.
So there are some cool things. But I missed, what's her name again?
Claire. But Claire was years ago. Claire was probably 15 years ago. 10, maybe 10.
Then I just didn't pay attention to Claire. Yeah. Maybe I did experience it and I just don't remember it.
It probably blocked it out because it was such a bad experience.
Because I would have had it then.
But anyway.
But Sprint doesn't work at my house, so...
Yes, I know.
That was another reason I switched.
I get text messages, but I can't make phone calls from his house. But anyway.
Yeah, I don't know why. And the tower's like right over here. Well, I know the Verizon is. Yeah. Anyway. So
that's all. Customer service.
Get it straight. Get it better.
Go out, make sure that you give positive feedback on those that give you great experience.
And if you're a worker that provides customer experience for people, customer service, good customer experience, go out of your way to actually help someone and make them have a good day. Yeah. It does not hurt you to let someone else have a good day.
Yeah, and again, you may come in with a bad day, but I've always been told you try to leave what's going on at the door, and if it's to the point that you can't, then that might be a day you need to take a sick leave or something like that.
If you're a server, your tips will go up. If you're just nice to people, I'm telling you, your revenue will go up. You'll feel better about yourself, and there's not as much drama. Yeah.
So that's all I got.
You don't have to listen to Mike come in.
Yeah, and vent and get mad, but that's all I got, guys. That's all I got for this episode.
We good?
We are good.
Customer service. I'm sure we could go on for hours about it, but we'll tackle something else later. We could probably get into other topics that relate to customer service, because in the professional world, it's all about leadership, engagement, and customer service. We call it customer experience where we're at. So
okay.
All right, man. Well, this is the end of episode 11.
Episode 11.
We always appreciate you guys checking us out. Again, ding, 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 ding. Hit that bell in the top.
Comment below.
Please give us some feedback, man. We've been struggling getting some feedback. We really want it. We hope you guys are enjoying it. We're going to keep this thing rolling. So episode 11's in the bag, so we appreciate it. This is Damon.
This is Mike.
And this is a damn good show.
Peace.